project and the FMP kitchen renovation.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you, Ms. Ezel.
Yep.
And that takes us to our or I'm actually going to entertain a motion. So are there any motions to approve our consent agenda?
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda, consent agenda.
All right, thanks, Ken. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion by Ken to approve our consent agenda and a second by Ms. Marshall. Any debate or discussion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
And all opposed state nay. Motion passed unanimously. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our public hearing for the business improvement grant budget increase from $150,000 to $300,000. And so at this time, I now open the public hearing at 6:11 p.m.
Mr. President, this is just kind of a housekeeping. I talked to Lauren, and we need to have a public hearing for the business improvement grant budget increase. As you know, we're increasing it from $150,000 due to Hurricane Beryl. We're increasing the available funds from $150,000 to $300,000. Also, we're waiving the work start portion. When you have to start the work, we've got it retroactive to when the hurricane hit. We've got a lot of interest in the program. A lot of people are in the process of filling out applications and getting applications. So it looks like it's going to be needed.
Thank you. And were there any other board member comments on this increase?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So for this budget year that we're ending, do we have any funds left over in the business improvement?
Yes, we as you recall, we split the Four Corners application so that one would go in this year
right.
and the other into next year, and that left us about $25,000. Now, I don't know if there's even going to be any applications that get in time for that, and we have to call a special meeting, but being that this is the last meeting of the fiscal year, I think we're going to have a little bit extra from this year. We didn't realize the situation of running out, so that's good.
Is that why it's such a big increase?
No, we did the big increase because of Hurricane Beryl, and we've had a massive inquiry from the business community on intentions to get the grant, and just lots of interest and people that are in need, people that didn't have insurance. If you recall, both Ronnie and I walked around to different businesses that had been impacted. Now, the application is a bit of a process because you have to go through code enforcement, you have to get documents, paperwork together, so sometimes it takes a little time, but I'm anticipating getting more grant requests as we proceed into the new fiscal year.
Are we still only given one mega grant?
Yes, this year we're going to give one mega grant. We did not, at least we did not change the mega grant. Now, I will say we went a little bit out of the parameters with the grant for that we just approved for the Four Corners because of it represented multiple, I think it's 14 stores in that building. But again, that's at the pleasure of the board. If we run into something where we're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole, we may have to change things again a little bit to accommodate the grant. We're in uncharted territory with Hurricane Beryl. But to answer your question, no, we did not increase the numbers of mega grants.
And, we still get performance, they have to have performance measures, right? For
Yes,
anyone who receives a grant. Does that include Four Corners?
Yes, they have to sign a performance agreement, and we have the same standard, as far as how long they stay in business, et cetera. The clawbacks, if you will, that we have in the standard contract. The requirements did not change in any way. The only thing that changed was the work start date, if you will, when you have to start work. We waived that because it used to be that you'd have to wait to be approved by the grant, and then, but due to Hurricane Beryl and the speed that insurance companies operate on, we waived that and said anything that starts after the date of Hurricane Beryl we'll pay for that work. So, no, those are the only two things substantially that changed, was the amount of the pot that we have and the fact that the work start date.
All right. Were there any other questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none and seeing no citizen comments, I'll go ahead and close our public hearing at 6:17 p.m. And we'll move on to our discussion and action items, and underneath that we have number 1, discuss and update on Kid Fest from Main Street.
Good evening, EDC Board.
Good evening.
Not only can I speak upon Main Street Kid Fest, but I can go ahead and discuss an update on the UTSA Main Street Vision Session number 2, since they were pretty much back to back. But good evening, EDC Board members. I am Wade Dillon, and I am the new Museum Main Street Director for the City of Freeport. I took over the Main Street Freeport program from Anna Syllabus on August 23rd. This evening, I'd like to give each of you a quick update on the Main Street Freeport program. Jumping into the fray, I coordinated and hosted the Community Downtown Vision Session number 2 at the Freeport Historical Museum on August 27th. The event lasted from 6 to 8 p.m. with nearly 50 community members in attendance. Ian Kane, the architect responsible for leading UTSA's comprehensive downtown plan and design guidelines, was very happy with the turnout and input from those in attendance, which included downtown property owners, Main Street Board members, city staff, local leaders, and so on. Ian Kane shared that the comprehensive plan and design guidelines would be delivered by himself and UTSA staff on October 15th, which was pushed up from the original August deadline due to Hurricane Beryl. After the Downtown Community Vision Session, I began diving into all of the Main Street homework Anna left me and began coordinating our 14th annual Kid Fest event on Saturday, September 7th, which was also originally postponed due to Hurricane Beryl. Kid Fest saw a terrific turnout with nearly 1,000 people in attendance during the 4-hour event, which included dry inflatables due to the water boil notice, food trucks, music, face painting, and a caricaturist. Local organizations such as the Friends of the Brazoria Wildlife Refuge, Texas Marine Mammals Association, the Freeport Library, the Freeport Salvation Army, and several others set up booths to engage visitors and share our local amenities and resources. The Salvation Army cooked and handed out over 300 hot dogs for free, thanks to the Brazos Port Breakfast Lions Club. The Freeport Historical Museum was open with free admission that day and recorded over 200 visitors during the Kid Fest event. Now, diving back into Main Street, Robert Johnson, Ian Kane with UTSA, myself, and Jamie Crawley, the architect and design lead for the Texas Historical Commission and Texas Main Street Program, will meet virtually on Monday morning to discuss facade design guidelines so that interests in EDC properties can potentially move forward here soon. And I'm sure Anna Silbus thanked you, but I'll take a moment for thanking y'all for your contribution to the UTSA Downtown Comprehension Plan and for being a Kid Fest sponsor. I've been a liaison to Main Street since we were readmitted in 2021, and I recognize and appreciate the collaboration and partnership between EDC and Main Street and hope to carry that forward to ensure a revitalized historic downtown Freeport. Thank you.
Mr. President, if I may add one thing to that. As you recall, during the Kids Fest last month, we had approved that, I want to say, Psy-acoustic speaker. And Sandra, you put the caveat that we needed to ensure to get our money back if the event wasn't held. Unfortunately, although we went round and round and we tried, we couldn't get them because the pre-work had to be done. And so they couldn't meet that requirement, so we never went forward with going with the speaker system that was discussed last Sunday. We tried, but we just couldn't. Thank you, Wade.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Did anyone on the board have any questions about that? Either one?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to number 3. All right, discuss and take possible action on a new mowing contract.
Yes, Mr. President, if you recall, we tabled this issue. David McGinty, who apologizes, he had to go and get his daughter out of she's in Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had
Yeah.
to, but he had a couple of people he was working with. Unfortunately, those two did not materialize. They just didn't have the equipment to do it. They really wanted to. However, we do have 3 bids, one from Addie's Services, one from VT Enterprise, and one from Gardner Campbell. And I thank Rachel that you made this document so, the bottom line can be easily seen of what they would charge for a year's worth of work.
And so the highlighted totals over here, that's, you said a year's worth of work,
That would be the
correct?
amount that
Okay.
we'd pay per year, yes. I'm sorry, I didn't phrase that very well.
Oh, no, I was just making sure. I guess I will start us off, and I will say that whenever we got to speak to and hear from Mr. Garcia from At Ease Services, I was, before we rehired our prior lawn care specialist, I was most impressed with his presentation, but if anybody else had a different company or individual that they preferred, I'm all ears to hearing that.
It's a big spread in the price of all 3 of them, as far as the total of what they want to charge.
Yes.
So, I think what you're saying, there's a big difference between 77, 91, and 50. They're all like 20,000 or so apart. But what the spec is exactly the same, right?
Yes.
But yet, their pricing is so different. Is it the equipment that they're using, or, and the time that they're cutting, the biweekly versus, and then the dormant and all that, that's all the same, right? But the
Yes.
pricing is One's 77,000, one's 91,000, one's 50,000. So-
Yes, and I'm not sure what the gap, we showed them the properties, they all looked at the same thing. I just really can't speak to that. I guess maybe their equipment is different or something. I really don't know because there is a significant difference between the prices.
And so when we get these, do we get anything like references, anything that we can see who's dealt with them as far as, that we can check to make sure how long they've been in business, things of that nature? I mean,
With Eddie's services, I've been working with him a lot lately, asking a lot of questions. I personally have used his services in the past, and he's never had any issues with like getting in contact with them. He's very professional. I've seen him be utilized during barrel around the county, but he is a relatively new company. I will say that he's also worked on getting like FEMA certified so that you can go through that kind of payment, and he would be one of the only in Brazoria County that is that way. But as far as references, since he's relatively new, other than seeing like BC Update customers that have responded there, I haven't checked into other references. And then I believe everybody's kind of familiar with Gardner Campbell and how he's been around the city and how long he's been around here. He has a vested interest in the properties just because, this is his hometown and he wants to make sure that it looks good. So he's just trying to get us a deal that he thinks will work for the board. VT Enterprises is Van Tomlinson, and he contacted us because he went through the area and he said, I'm probably more expensive than you can afford. He said, but I do a good job. He said, so I just want to make sure that I get my name out there so that we can get something done because it looks like y'all are struggling. And that's kind of how he approached our office.
Thank you, Rachel.
Who does the city use?
The city has their own internal mowing.
They do their
Oh,
own
go ahead.
mowing?
Wait a second, hold on, that might not be totally.
The city itself just went out for bids for our right-of-way mowing. Most of our parks and stuff are mowed by city staff. However, we did go out for bids, and L&M, the landscaper that does Lake Jackson is the one that won ours. And we only actually had one bid for the city services. So it's the same people who do Lake Jackson's mowing. They are the ones who are going to begin doing the city's mowing in October.
I'll make a motion to accept the Addie's services.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Excuse me, motion by Mark to accept the bid from Addie's Services, seconded by Ronnie. And is there any debate or discussion? Any debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor, state aye.
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 All opposed, state nay. Motion passed unanimously. And let's go ahead and move on to, what is that, number 4? Discuss and take possible action on Skinner Street property number 2.
Yes, Mr. President, Gardner Campbell approached me and the EDC and is interested in buying, and this was not by design. If you recall, a couple months ago, I talked about the property on Skinner Street, not to be confused with the Realty World property, but the one further up Skinner Street. And we talked about how that was zoned for mobile home, and he's expressed an interest in developing it. He just wants to know if the board would be interested in selling it. He would like to do some development, which he said, if you are, we could move forward with an appraisal. He offered to pay for the appraisal. I don't know if we want to do that, but he did offer. he's got some development plans. If we were interested in getting an appraisal, we could continue the discussion, but that was mainly what he was wondering, and he couldn't be here tonight, but he said if the board is interested in it, he would come back next month and explain his development plans more. And of course, you know, we wouldn't be able to assist him aside from just, you know, selling it to him because it would be residential.
I mean, I'm always open to hearing what someone has to say. I don't think we didn't really have any specific plans for that property. We did not, like the EDC did not.
Well, we
Right.
can't do anything with the
Yeah,
property because
exactly.
it's zoned wrong.
Exactly. If you recall, we had that battery company, I can say now, we had that battery company that was looking at that property and wanted to locate one of their batteries there, and then lo and behold, we found out, wait a second, it's zoned wrong for that, and we found out about the zoning limitations and restrictions.
I mean, but if you're asking me directly, like he can come tell us whatever it is he would like to tell us about the property or whatever plans or ideas he has for it in October.
Do we want to move forward with an appraisal?
Yeah, just so that we can know, how much it's worth.
I think an appraisal is definitely part of the game plan, and I think it's probably better served if we had a third party other than someone that,
We should pay for it? Okay.
I agree.
All right, we'll do that.
How many houses, Robert, do you think would fit in that little area?
Well, in our discussion, I didn't talk about houses, but he said, in our discussion, we didn't talk about housing, we talked about mobile homes, and he had said 14 mobile homes would fit in that property, along with some kind of office area that you could go into. And I said, that many? And he said, oh yeah. So
I thought it was houses, but apparently it's
Mobile home.
That's what he's wanting to do.
I'd talked to Gardner about this, and my inference was that it was supposed to be homes as well. Maybe I misunderstood.
yeah, that's
But
what
it'd
he
be good
said
to,
to me.
bring them up here. and
Bring
let's-
them up and you can talk
Yeah.
about it, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to number 5, discuss the Freeport EDC Administrative Office Intern Program.
Okay, so the city was approached by the high school. And way back when, the city was involved in an internship with the high school seniors, because they do have seniors who intern at local businesses in the community. The city hadn't done it in a very long time, and the city was approached by the high school. I spoke with Mr. Petty about the program, and we are trying to build our relationship, the city's relationship with the school district and the high school. Part of it is we want to show these young adults what the city actually does and try to get them more involved in the community, because this is not the only program that I am currently working with the high school on, but it is one where the city would take in 3 high school interns. One started today, and they will work 3 days a week, an hour a day from now until May. When I kind of mentioned the program to Mr. Johnson, he kind of got that little spark in his eye, and we talked about how we felt that it would also benefit the EDC's relationship with the young generation and the relationship with the school district. So, and these young adults that have applied all want marketing, business. They want to start their own businesses. The young gentleman we spoke to today, I said, what do you want to do? He gave me like a bunch of different items. and the city can help him with kind of all different aspects of what he would like to do. He wants to go to school without any debt. We can't do that, but we can help build his skills to go out and work in the community if he can't get scholarships, because he's like, if I can't get scholarships, I'm going to work a little bit, then I'm going to go to school because I want to be debt free. But all of these young adults have submitted resumes to us. We had a list of 5 that were interested in working for the city of Freeport, and Mr. Johnson has graciously accepted and being part of our intern rotation. We are going to rotate them through pretty much all of the city departments that I can, and have them shadow people at the golf course, the rec center, finance, customer service, building code, you name it. We're going to let them experience all of it. Again, this is something that when it was brought to my attention that the high school was doing this, I did go to Mr. Petty and I did speak to Human Resources about it as well, and it helps to build this. And like the young gentleman said today, he wants to come back after his education and serve his community. Well, what better way to see how to serve your community than working for the city of Freeport and different aspects of how they can get involved in Freeport. The other program I'm going to kind of piggyback off is I was approached by the high school, by their video and photography departments at the high school. So we are working with them to video and photograph all of the city events, and if there's any EDC events, we will put those in the rotation. Not only, I met with these young ladies last week, myself, Mr. Dillon, Bella Ramirez from the Rec Center, and Chief Howell. We met with these young ladies. I'm gonna tell you, they've got some bright ideas. They want to interview department heads so that they know what the city of Freeport does, create bios for the city of Freeport. They came forth with all these different ideas. So we are meeting with them every month. They did go to Kid Fest. I am going through about 200 pictures that they sent me just this morning. So, and then we'll get the videos. They will post it on their Facebook. They will also, if we make the flyers for them for the different city events, they will pass them out to the students and the teachers, and they said that they will go to local businesses and deliver the flyers. These two groups of young gentlemen and ladies, I mean, they've come with ideas. We're giving them, kind of like, just tell us. We may not be able to do some of it, but bring us your ideas, and we're willing to listen to anything. They're excited. The city of Freeport staff is excited. Mr. Johnson is excited. Again, this is a way to bring the young people into the community events that the city of Freeport does. When we started going through the list of events and the different things that we do, they were all in awe of what actually goes on in Freeport that they did not know about. So this is our time to partner with the EDC, to partner with the city to help cultivate the younger generation of the people that are living in Freeport.
And if I may add to that, I think it's another exciting opportunity to build the relationship, continue to build the relationship that we've had with the city. And I was very impressed, as I was telling you, some of you today, with the young gentleman that came in. He wants to go to Texas Tech. I'll have to talk to Mark about that. But he very bright. And when I was in Gladewater, I had 3 different interns, and the key was developing a program where they're not just doing busy work. They could do work that was meaningful and that would enhance their skill set. And Rachel and I are working on putting something together so that they won't just be doing go file this stuff. So I think it's an exciting opportunity, and hopefully you're as receptive to it as I am. I think it's a great opportunity to partner with the school.
And that is one thing that I've talked to the department heads and supervisors. These guys are not here to be glorified file clerks, do the dirty work. They're here to shadow city staff. Yes, they can work right beside them, but they're not here to file, and do the work that I put all, I don't like to file either. But that's not what they're here for. They're here to build and learn. And so that is the program that we're taking. Our HR assistant, our human resources assistant, Genesis Martinez, she is a young lady. I am the director over the program. However, Genesis Martinez, who is going to be the person with their one-on-one, she's closer to their age, so she understands them a little better than myself. And it gives her good beginning supervisory experience for her transition into hopefully a larger role with the city as well. So this is not only an opportunity for them, it's an opportunity for city staff, for us to develop the young people that we have in our offices and in our departments that want to be supervisors and move up our career ladder. This is giving them the chance to do those things.
I think it's great. I mean, it's the best way in the world for them to figure out if it's something they really want to do. Because when I was growing up, I wanted to be a school teacher. Sorry. They let me do a Title II program. I went back and changed my major.
Yeah, I wanted to be a nurse until I was a candy striper. And I decided, nah, that's okay.
So how much, did you say it's only 1 hour a week or
No,
day?
it's 1 hour a day, 3 days a week.
Oh, okay.
And they will be there from this week. They have some, we only had one today. The other two will be coming because they are interviewing out in the community with other businesses, which they need the interview experience. Once they've done the interviewing with those companies and those companies choose, then we will get 2 more. So we'll have a total of 3. They'll be from now until May. They will be with the city of Freeport. So we'll have 3. We decided to start with 3. She said, I have 11 positions open, but right now I only have 2 slots. I said, I can only take 3. But that doesn't mean that this isn't something that can grow once we get this first year under our belt and work through all the kinks.
So what's the class they're going through from the school? Like, sometimes they'll have financial, banking or what. So what is it, the class that they're going through?
I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe economics or something? I don't know.
It might be life skills. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I can't remember her name is Amanda Theedum. And I didn't look at what she was over. She told me.
She asked what class?
Yes,
She
ma'am.
asked what class they were going through to get this credit.
For the internship? Like, what's the class name?
I
Yeah.
don't,
That's
honestly,
okay. I
don't
just was
remember.
curious.
And these are unpaid internships. These young ladies and gentlemen are coming in as unpaid interns to learn this. They get credit for school is what they're getting in, and plus life skills.
Okay.
But thank you, Ms. Ezel. I was going to say I think it's a great idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, play out.
Thank you.
All right. We'll go ahead and move on to number 6, discuss and take possible action on the ethics agreement.
Yes, Mr. President, last month, Ronnie had talked about an ethics agreement. I'm sure you all recall. We worked with Lauren at our legal staff, and they came up with, I knew they'd have something. They came up with the one in your packet, which seems like it's ready to go, but I'd just like some direction on if you want any changes or if this is what we want to go with.
I did review it briefly before our meeting, and I did not see anything that, I thought needed to be changed, but I'll let the other board members, speak to anything that they maybe noticed. It's right here. It's on page 51.
I also looked at it, I didn't see anything that stuck out to me. I thought it was well done.
Obviously, we'll add a signatory line to it.
Okay. But as you all review it, if anybody would like to make a motion, or I can make it also, to go ahead and move forward with this.
I'll make a motion, we go forward with it.
A second.
Okay, so we have a motion to go ahead and adopt this ethics policy by Ronnie, seconded by Mark. And is there any debate or discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am?
So, I guess I just want to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the ethics policy, correct?
Yes, ma'am, for board
Yes.
members. Mm-hmm.
So, it's okay if, let's say, for instance, I have a relative, let's say my sons,
Mm-hmm.
they want to apply for the mowing contract with the city, with the EDC. Is it okay that they do that? Or are they not allowed because I'm on the board?
So,
And
sorry.
Do I just not vote?
I'm looking at this, the way that I think, and then Lauren, you can stop me if I'm wrong, but the way that I would assume that this would work is there's like a section 4, then there's A through E, and it's section 4 in this agreement is conflicts of interest. And on letter B underneath that, it says in cases of conflict interest, you just have to disclose that that exists and file it.
Actually, can I step in on under paragraph 5 or section 5, the nepotism?
Yes. Oh, I see.
They wouldn't be able to award a contract to anybody within the second degree of blood or marriage.
Okay. So they would not be allowed to.
Correct.
So what's the answer?
The answer is that they would not be allowed to because that would be, fall under nepotism. And so it says no FEDC officer or employee shall appoint or confirm the appointment to any position nor award a contract to a person related to such officer or employee within the second degree. So that's second degree by affinity, which is marriage, and then within the third degree, ancestry.
So as long as I'm on the board, or any of us are on the board, none of our relatives, close relatives, can apply for any type of contracts with the EDC? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
All right. Was there any other debate or discussion?
Is that a common practice in other businesses?
I
I know about nepotism,
Mhm.
and, and things of that nature, but I don't know, it just seems a little extreme, especially because Freeport is such a small town. You know what I'm
True.
saying? And I don't know, you have the same people who kind of serve
Yeah.
on these boards and who are actively involved and engaged, and then if their families want to also be involved and engaged, they can't because you are. It just, it seems just a little extreme to me. I can understand if I wasn't allowed to vote to see if they get the contract. I could totally get that.
I think so
But
too.
to just say, well, they can't apply because I'm on the board, what if I get off the board tomorrow and, then you just pick the contractor, then they've lost their opportunity to be able to,
Yes, ma'am.
make money. I just think it's a little extreme.
No, and I think so.
I actually
too.
agree too.
Yeah,
I
we need
think that
to-
I agree with
Yeah.
you.
We can remove that section 5 if that would be the board's prerogative.
We can, or I was gonna say we could at least maybe just
I mean,
edit
want to
it
ask each
to
person.
maybe to say something about, instead of just not allowing it, maybe just have that person recuse themselves from
Well,
voting.
that actually is taken care of in paragraph
Okay, in the
4,
conflicts of interest, right.
conflicts of interest
Okay.
section. Yeah, that's why,
You said to remove, we
yeah,
could
that's
remove
why I
it.
said you could remove it if you want to. It would still paragraph 4 would still require that if there was somebody that they were related to that was before us with the, a contract or whatever, they'd have to abstain and not vote.
Okay. Ms. Marshall, did you get that?
No.
Lauren, our attorney, he said that paragraph 4 in this agreement does stipulate that if, for example, if your sons were wanting to do the mowing, you would just have to abstain yourself from voting, kind of like you said previously. All right.
That's better.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for bringing that to our attention. So, Lauren, we're in the middle of a motion and a second, so do we?
Who made the motion? I'm sorry. If you want to amend, do you want to amend your motion? And then we amend the second?
Hold on, I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Is this a city policy too, or is this just for EDC?
This is just for EDC.
Who put this together?
I did, the attorney. Lauren, the attorney.
The attorney? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Okay. So it's not a city policy?
No.
Well, what does the city say about, something of this nature? The contracts, like, if somebody's on the city council, does their relatives still get to apply for a contract?
The city, well, I don't know, Kathy, you want to address that?
The answer is no. Our purchasing policy does not allow it, does not allow relatives of city employees to bid on contracts. And we just adopted a nepotism policy that states, as of October 1st of 2024, no relative of a director can be hired with the city. So the city itself has tightened up its nepotism policies, but as far as like the mowing contract or anything like that, the city's purchasing policy does not allow a relative of city council or a city staff member to hold a contract with the city.
All right, that's all I have, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So I will adjust my motion with the change.
To remove paragraph
remove.
5?
Yes.
Okay. And who seconded it?
Mark.
And do you agree with do you second his amendment?
I second that.
All right. So I guess we're back in debate and discussion this is approving this agreement with the change of getting rid of paragraph 5, the nepotism section. Was there any other debate or discussion?
I just want to say, I asked for this not because anything's been done wrong in the past. It's just a perception from the general public to just stop anything from being said. That's all.
Who is that?
That was Ronnie. All right. Seeing no other debate or discussion, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All opposed state nay. Motion passed unanimously. And that takes us to, all right, board and executive director comments. And Ms. Marshall, can you please start us off?
First of all, just want to offer up my prayers for the people of Louisiana who are about to face a storm. We know what that's like. And so we're just praying for their safety during this time and that God will keep them all safe with minimal damage, minimal loss of life, minimal injuries. And then, so, Mr. Johnson, I have not seen a director's report since June. Am I missing something? Did I just maybe not get it
The director's report, I'm not sure when the last one was, but the director's report for this month was delayed, yes.
Say that again?
I said the director's report for this month was delayed, yes. It will be out next week,
It'll be out next week?
yes.
Okay, perfect, because I kind of missed those. It kind of helps us to stay abreast of what's going on with the EDC and what direction we're taking. And so I really do appreciate the director's reports and the time that you put into them and the details. So when we don't get them, I just kind of miss that. So I appreciate that. Next, the breakfast that was canceled because of the hurricane, has that been rescheduled?
Just like the parks program, it has not been rescheduled yet, but we were waiting. We're going to proactively call out to the SBDC. They had been swamped due to Hurricane Beryl with their calendars and haven't been able to do that. We still really want to present that program, so we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now, but I will reach out. Do you have any updates more recent on that?
They recently had a member of the Brazosport College employment staff that passed away. And so a lot of people are attending that funeral. So it pushed their calendar even further back. Jennifer Finney, the director over the small business development at the college, has said that she will reach out once her calendar clears up a little bit more. In the process, me and Robert have talked about maybe doing like a webinar or something that we present online that we can share information with the businesses that might be more received at the moment.
And then, the Gerard's 100th year, where are we with that?
Gerard's told us that they would get back with us on doing it. They did not want to do it at the time. They had various reasons, but they said that they would get back with us on that, and that's where we are on that.
Okay, when was the last time you heard from them?
It was earlier this spring. I lose track of when it was, but we reached out to them right away, and they said no, thank you, not right now. I'm speculating here, but I'm not sure if that was because they didn't really want to do it, or if they just are too busy to do it. But that's what they indicated, and they did say they'd get back with us when they were ready.
It's just that we have a BRNE program, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
And showing appreciation to our businesses, I think, is very important. And I want to make sure that we acknowledge them in some way, even if we don't do anything big and grand. Just, maybe even just inviting them here and giving them a plaque and, whatever. Just something to show them that we appreciate them being in the city of Freeport for 100 years. That is a major milestone. And I think that you have to tell people and show people that you appreciate their services. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to make sure that we're doing that so that we can retain our businesses. As a matter of fact, I would like to see us have a list of all of the businesses in Freeport, and with maybe like a tenure list of how long they've been here. And once they reach a milestone, 5, 10, 15 years or whatever, we can send them just a small little gift token. It doesn't have to be anything expensive or, but just something that says, hey, thank you for being the best part of Freeport, and thank you for the economy that you put here and the jobs that you provide. I just believe in saying thanks and showing appreciation. And so, Gerard's has been on my mind. My dad used to go to Gerard's faithfully, all the time. And, everything that you need, they have it. They've been great about helping our citizens. So I just wanna, show them that we appreciate them staying in Freeport for 100 years. That's a major milestone, so I just want us to do something. It doesn't have to be major, but I would just like to see us do something for Gerard's. And I think that's all I have.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mark?
When I get in my truck, it automatically goes to Gerard's. I can't figure that out. I'd just like to thank the Kid Fest. I just thought it was out of sight. Anna and it was just fantastic. And I mean, I even liked the hot dog I got. It was good. And I thought it was well done, well put together, a lot of thought and effort. And I know how difficult it is to put those kind of things together, but I thought well done there for Freeport.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Ronnie?
Got nothing.
Ken?
Let me elaborate just for a moment about Gerard's. I did talk to Lisa and Trey. It's been a couple of months ago, maybe 3. Encouraged her to get a hold of Bob Phillips's Texas Country Reporter to come down here. And she did tell me that she sent an email to them, but I don't know what has happened since that time. So that's what I know on that. We've got a good group of board members here, and we all get along well. We can discuss things and not be upset if one person disagrees with the other. So, but I think everybody on the board has Freeport on their mind, what is best for us, and we're going to continue to do this. And if any of the people, I say people, the citizens, have questions or even has basically, more important, any ideas, then we really encourage them to come to us or to call the office with Robert and talk to him. So, but that's it. Allowed.
Thanks, Ken. Ms. Loisa?
Okay, so I just have a few things. Actually, it was great to see, I saw on Facebook that we had an update for Arlen's. I think a date is October the 10th, I think. So that's good to see that we have a date, and I see, people are liking it and loving it on Facebook. So glad we have a date now to know when they'll be open. So thank you all for putting that on Facebook so everybody knows. And then I believe National Night Out is October the 1st. So I think it'd be nice. I don't know if we'll have anything out there, but it would be nice to have a little table out there. I know for my job, I'll be participating. I usually go to that and participate for National Night Out. It's good to support the police department, and then a lot of kids do go to that. So that's October the 1st. And then also we have an event for the city in the end of October. I don't know if it's something that we can maybe discuss on the next agenda for a donation for candy for the Fright Night. It's a big event for the city, and a lot of candy is given out, and a lot of kids come to this event. So I don't know if that's something that maybe we could just give out just a little money to them to help donate for the candy. If you haven't never been on the Thursday, you would be amazed. So anyway, I don't know if that's something we could put on the agenda for next time.
Sandra's being modest. We had talked about this before, and she asked how much of the candy we had left from last year. If you recall, a couple events were canceled, so we've got a couple boxes, but we don't have as much as we want to. This would certainly be something that would fall under promotions, and we could do without a motion. We can just take it out of our promotions budget and get that, I think you said $300 worth of candy.
Anything will help.
Yeah, if nobody had any objections.
No, I don't.
Is that a yes? I'll do it.
I guess so.
Okay.
Looks like it. I guess.
I'm done. Thank you, that's it.
Thanks. I don't have very much, just really glad, again, to see the announcement about Arlen's. a lot of my coworkers that live in Freeport have been asking about it because it really is, it's just convenient, obviously, to have a grocery store in your community and not having to drive 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes somewhere else. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I know a lot of other people in town are also looking forward to that. And again, yeah, Kid Fest and all of the initiatives and programs so far, they've seemed to be successful and kind of going in the right direction. I know we're kind of in a waiting period, just waiting for all the other pieces to fall into place, but it looks like we're headed in a really good direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, Lance was very quick on the gun today. I talked to, as you recall, I've set up meetings between Main Street, code enforcement, and ourselves just to facilitate communication, because there were so many times when we'd walk down the hall and say, oh, hey, by the way, this business or this is, so we have every 2 weeks we have a meeting. And this morning I met with Shelby, Shelby from Code Enforcement. One of her concerns was that she hadn't been able to get a hold of Mr. Adnan Ali, our friend. And Adnan does well with cell phones, not necessarily emails so much. So I called him today, and then I said, hey, by the way, how's it going? And he updated that they've finished the roof on Arlen's, but then they had rain and there were a few stray leaks that they've had to fix, and then they're doing the final touches on the inside. And of course, Shelby needs to get in there and inspect. Same with the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree also gave and so they estimated it'd be 4 weeks. Now, I joked with Lance. I said, I hope our code enforcement doesn't say, wait a second, you've got to rip all this out. But then that was a joke. I want to stress that. But Dollar Tree is the same. They're finishing up their roof, and then they're going to have to do a restock in that whole process. They're estimating that it'll be early November. So they're just doing it piece by piece as they go down the line. But he was very happy. And tonight, Josh, you've signed the contract for Four Corners, so he's going to sign that, and we can reimburse him for the grant that you approved last month. Also, getting to my notes here. Here they are. Rachel is now, I'm proud to say, a notary, so that'll make things more smooth. We don't have to go downstairs to visit the folks to get something notarized. Reminder, permits are being waived. Oh, that was just a reminder that Shelby asked me to make, that the permits, as we've discussed, are being waived due to Beryl. That'll end October 4th. I don't know if there's, Lance, maybe you can give insight. Is there any movement to extend that, or is it expiring on the 4th of October?
It's going to expire on October 4th.
Okay. So it will be expiring on October 4th. The park celebration, there's Stephen F. Austin Park is having the benches installed, and the other two still need to be installed. But now, once that Stephen F. Austin, because that's where we're going to have the celebration with Phillips 66, that will move forward once that's done. It's been delayed a little bit because of weather. Also, the next board meeting, due to a scheduling conflict, Lance called, and the next board meeting on October 8th, there's a conflict with the city council, needs to have a meeting in here. So we've agreed to move, the city will use these council chambers, and we'll move to the city hall building, and there's a conference room in there. I know, that's not optimum, but we want to accommodate the city in that case, and so we'll move the meeting. The boil water notice is also lifted. I had a few businesses calling about that, so that's good. I thought there was something else, but my notes don't say it, so we're good to go. I appreciate it, Mr. President.
Thank you. That takes us to executive session. It is now 7:09 p.m., and I hereby recess the regular session of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation meeting and do hereby convene into executive session in compliance with Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, 551 N551, sorry, .087.